Want financials?
Tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes.
Tell
Let's
him.
go.
Reports are buzzing about a potential mega fight between two of boxing's finest, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. This fight, which could take place this May, has captured the attention of fans worldwide, especially with the possibility of Canelo being secured under a groundbreaking three-fight deal. But while the buzz around this match grows, questions remain. Will Crawford take on the challenge, and can he really compete with the larger Canelo? Boxing experts, trainers, and analysts are weighing in, offering differing opinions on what this bout could look like and whether it will materialize. The biggest question at the moment is whether Crawford will move up 2 weight classes to face Canelo at 168 pounds. Terence Crawford, a pound-for-pound champion with an undefeated record of 41-0 and 31 knockouts, is a force to be reckoned with, but stepping up to super middleweight to fight Canelo is no small task. Top trainer Robert Garcia has fueled excitement by hinting that he had heard the fight could happen, and some rumors suggest that the battle could take place during Canelo's traditional Cinco de Mayo fight weekend in 2025. This matchup would not only be an electrifying spectacle for boxing fans, but could also redefine both fighters' legacies. Canelo, the current undisputed super middleweight champion, is a seasoned fighter with a record of 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, alongside 39 knockouts. Known for his power, precision, and relentless aggression, Canelo has earned his place as one of the best boxers of this era. While some critics claim that Crawford doesn't bring enough of a challenge due to the size disparity, Robert Garcia believes Crawford could rise to the occasion. Garcia is confident that even though many might view the fight as a mismatch, Crawford's skills would allow him to put up a good fight. However, many in the boxing community are skeptical about the practicality of this matchup. Former welterweight champion and boxing analyst Sean Porter, for instance, expressed concerns about the physical mismatch, especially given that Crawford would need to move up 2 weight classes to face a fighter like Canelo. Porter raised concerns about Crawford absorbing Canelo's powerful punches over 12 rounds, particularly given the physical gap between the two fighters. Though Canelo is not known for being overly active during fights, he presses his opponents with his powerful presence and constant forward momentum, which could make it difficult for Crawford to evade. Crawford, however, is no ordinary fighter. His technical brilliance, strategic acuity, and ability to adapt in the ring have earned him a reputation as one of the sport's greatest. Some argue that Crawford's movement and finesse could counteract Canelo's physical strength, especially considering the possibility of Canelo slowing down as he approaches his mid-30s. Still, Porter remains concerned about the challenge Crawford faces in terms of both size and power. Others like Paulie Malignaggi, a former world champion and boxing commentator, question how effective Crawford could be if he continues to move up in weight. As Crawford has fought at lower weight classes, the question is whether his power, which once posed a serious threat to opponents, will be diminished as he climbs the ranks. Some argue that Crawford's knockout streak may no longer be as potent, and his ability to box cleverly might not be enough to overcome Canelo's raw power. Despite these concerns, Crawford, with his unbeaten record and 4-division championship status, continues to make the case that he can dare to be great by stepping up in weight. Canelo, on the other hand, has shown interest in facing Crawford, but some wonder if he genuinely views the fight as a lucrative challenge. Canelo himself has dismissed the significance of a fight against Crawford, stating that the financial incentive for such a bout is not compelling enough for him to pursue it. He believes that fighting someone smaller like Crawford would not offer the challenge or revenue potential he seeks. Some suggest that Canelo's reluctance to face Crawford is more about avoiding the risk to his legacy than anything else. But Crawford has fired back at Canelo, calling him easy work, and suggesting that Canelo is afraid to take the fight because deep down, he knows he could lose. Crawford's response to Canelo's dismissive remarks adds an interesting layer to the saga. Terence insists that if he were really easy work, Canelo would have already signed the contract to fight him. Crawford points out that while Canelo is asking for a staggering $200 million to fight David Benavidez, he is demanding far less to fight Crawford, showing, in his view, that Canelo sees him as a threat. Tim Bradley, another former world champion and boxing analyst, has also weighed in, expressing confidence in Crawford's ability to rise to the occasion, dismissing comparisons to other fighters like Jermall Charlo. Bradley believes that Crawford's skills and ability to adapt make him a unique challenge for Canelo. He emphasizes Crawford's readiness to face big challenges and acknowledges that the potential fight against Canelo is one of the most intriguing possibilities in boxing. Despite the positive views of some analysts, there are others, like Andre Rozier, who caution against Crawford's move up to super middleweight. Rozier, a highly respected figure in boxing, has raised concerns about the risks Crawford would face, especially considering his age and the physical challenges of facing a larger, stronger fighter like Canelo. While Crawford has the skills to compete at higher weight classes, Rozier believes that a jump to 168 pounds might be too much for Crawford. He suggests that Crawford's most reasonable step would be to fight at 154 pounds, where the weight disparity would be less pronounced. Rob Arasta, another respected boxing figure, shares a similar view, arguing that Canelo's dominance at super middleweight makes him a dangerous opponent for Crawford. Arasta believes that Canelo, who is already accustomed to fighting at 168 pounds, would have a significant advantage in terms of power, speed, and overall physicality. He also pointed out that moving up in weight for Crawford might not give him the necessary time to adjust, especially given how quickly the body can react to significant weight changes. While he acknowledges Crawford's greatness, Arasta believes that Canelo's strength at this weight class would be too much for the challenger. Keith Thurman, a former world champion, has a different perspective on the potential fight. He believes that Crawford's analytical mind and ability to adapt could give him an edge in a fight against Canelo. Thurman pointed out that Canelo's recent fight against Jermall Charlo showed moments where Charlo was able to protect himself from Canelo's power by adjusting his defense, though he lacked the offensive output to turn the fight in his favor. Thurman believes that Crawford's ability to both defend and counterattack could give him an opportunity to frustrate Canelo, especially if Crawford can avoid being caught by Canelo's power shots. Oscar De La Hoya, the legendary former champion and promoter, has also weighed in on the discussion surrounding Canelo's financial demands and his willingness to fight Crawford. De La Hoya expressed his admiration for Saudi billionaire Turki Al Sheikh's approach to making fights that boxing fans want to see. He contrasted this with Canelo's hefty financial demands, which De La Hoya implied were indicative of a lack of interest in fighting Crawford. According to De La Hoya, Canelo's reluctance to negotiate a reasonable deal for a fight with Crawford is detrimental to the sport and its fans, as it prevents significant matchups from coming to fruition. Chino Rivas, another boxing analyst, voiced similar concerns regarding Crawford's decision to move up in weight to fight Canelo. Rivas emphasized the physical challenges Crawford would face against Canelo, particularly considering Crawford's age and his previous vulnerability in a fight against Errol Spence. Rivas expressed concerns that Crawford, who has a natural weight around 147 to 154 pounds, would be overmatched physically by Canelo, whose power at 168 pounds is unparalleled. He suggested that Crawford should instead face fighters like Jermall Charlo at 154 pounds, where the weight disparity would be less of a factor. Stephen A. Smith, the outspoken sports commentator, also weighed in on the potential fight between Canelo and Crawford. Smith praised Crawford's exceptional boxing technique, suggesting that his skills could make life difficult for Canelo. However, Smith also acknowledged Canelo's immense power and aggressiveness, raising the concern that Crawford might struggle to withstand Canelo's heavy shots, especially without the knockout power to make Canelo think twice. According to Smith, while Crawford is a more skilled boxer, Canelo's relentless offense could ultimately overwhelm Crawford if he's not careful. For fans, this potential fight is more than just another boxing match. It's a historic event. The fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford would pit two generational talents against each other in a clash of styles, with Canelo's brute force and precision countered by Crawford's finesse and tactical brilliance. If it happens, the fight could define both men's careers, with the winner potentially securing their place in the annals of boxing history. However, the road to this fight is fraught with obstacles, not just in terms of negotiations and financials, but in overcoming the doubts about whether Crawford can physically compete with Canelo's power at 168 pounds. As the boxing world watches closely, the question remains, will the fight take place, and if so, who will come out on top? The stakes are sky high, and fans are eagerly waiting for official confirmation. This could very well be the modern-day version of Daring to be Great, a fight that transcends the sport and captivates the imagination of boxing enthusiasts everywhere. Who do you think would emerge victorious in this monumental showdown? Only time will tell, but for now, the excitement continues to build around this potential clash of the titans.